Deep-fried goodies and daily specials might be tempting options when you go out to eat, but some restaurant sides are typically best left unordered. Asparagus is one of those vegetables that can be polarizing, depending on how it's prepared. Professional cook Keith Dresser at Cooks Illustrated asserts that the best asparagus is braised and somewhat mushy. However, many people prefer it when it remains crisp. If you think you don't like asparagus, it might just be because you don't like the way it's been cooked. Without knowing exactly what you're getting, choosing asparagus as your side at a restaurant can be a real risk. Will you end up with slimy, mushy asparagus or stalks that still have lots of snap left in them? Of course, there's another reason why a lot of people may want to avoid asparagus: a certain unpleasant side effect that you might discover in the bathroom after dinner.
You know how eating asparagus makes your urine kind of
stink? Yeah, everybody knows that.
Not everyone.
The distinctive odor comes from asparagusic acid, a sulfurous compound specific to asparagus. If you experience this effect, you will notice the smell as soon as 15 to 30 minutes after eating the asparagus, and studies show that the effect can last up to 14 hours. If that's something you want to avoid, you'll be best off choosing a different vegetable. You would think that getting macaroni and cheese in a restaurant would be a safe bet, but we've been proven wrong far too many times. Even well-known restaurants like Arby's and Panera can mess up their famous macaroni and cheeses from time to time. There are a lot of mistakes cooks can make with mac and cheese. Too often, the dish comes overcooked or flavorless from using the wrong type of cheese or containing little to no seasoning. Even more disappointing is when you realize the restaurant is using ordinary Kraft macaroni and cheese that you could have made for yourself at home.
Tell me about Mac's famous mac and cheese.
If you do get a tasty mac and cheese at a restaurant, it's often ridiculously laden with fat, calories, and sodium. For example, a serving of Outback Steakhouse's mac and cheese has 720 calories, 37 grams of fat, and 1,010 milligrams of sodium. Assuming you order mac and cheese and nothing else, which is not exactly likely, you will have already consumed about half the calories, fat, and sodium you should be consuming for the whole day on a 2,000-calorie diet. Some restaurants showcase a new soup or two on their menu daily, sometimes on a regular rotation. However, in many restaurants, ordering the soup of the day is a big gamble. One former restaurant owner asserted that the soup of the day often contains leftovers and veggies that are in unsellable shape. The other main reason to avoid the daily offerings is that you have no idea how long the soup pot has been simmering, or how many days that same fat has supposedly been the soup of the day. Many kitchens keep reheating the soup to sell until it's all gone. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay even weighed in on the matter, telling Town & Country, "Ask what yesterday's soup du jour was before today's special. It may be the case that it's the soup du month." Some soups still taste great on their second day, but nobody wants a mystery soup that's been aging and being recycled onto the menu for days on end. If you know that a restaurant makes its mashed potatoes from scratch on site, it can be one of the best things on the menu. However, more often than not, you'll find that restaurant mashed potatoes are flavorless and made with reconstituted potato flakes. You may be disappointed to learn that even KFC's mashed potatoes come from a mix. But if you're getting mashed potatoes from a fast food restaurant, it's less logical to assume the cooks have time to peel potatoes, boil them, and mash them by hand.
Hello, Norma. Mother, I trust those are real potatoes and not flakes.
Real potatoes.
Whether the mashed potatoes on your plate are real or not, there's always the chance of the restaurant adding a weird gravy over the top that ruins the whole dish. For example, Popeyes uses a spicy Cajun gravy that isn't to everyone's liking, and Church's serves its mashed potatoes with a tangy and almost sweet gravy that can be confusing if you've never had it before. If the possibility of instant mashed potatoes and questionable gravy isn't appetizing, order your potatoes fried or baked instead. Coleslaw is one of the most unpredictable side dishes you can order from a restaurant. More restaurants make coleslaw wrong than make it right. Yes, they all make coleslaw differently, and that's part of the problem. Will they use vinegar or mayonnaise? Will they add sugar, mustard, horseradish? Will it be chunky or shredded? The possibilities are endless, but they're not all appetizing.
Do Shotgun Willies do the coleslaw with the peanuts, by the way?
Yes.
Who puts peanuts in coleslaw?
One Redditor said, "I am compelled to try every coleslaw I come across at restaurants, grocery stores, and delis, and I've never really had good coleslaw at a fast food place. Better off just grabbing a bag of coleslaw mix at the supermarket and a jar of Marie's coleslaw dressing." One of the coleslaw mistakes restaurants tend to make is trying to use it too many days in a row. Coleslaw tends to go bad after 3 or 4 days, so if the restaurant coleslaw you get has a color or smell that seems off, you won't want to eat it. onion rings are definitely hit or miss when it comes to flavor. Sometimes you'll find yourself blindsided by the crust, which can range from savory to sweet. Certain restaurants choose to dredge their onions in batter, while others coat them in crumbs. A restaurant may use unexpected ingredients in the batter, like buttermilk or beer for the crust. One Sonic employee even revealed that the secret ingredient of Sonic's onion ring batter is the vanilla ice milk mix they use to make their ice cream. It also turns out that not every restaurant uses actual rings from onions when making their onion rings. Instead of real onions like you'd expect, Burger King shapes seasoned, dehydrated onions and onion powder into breaded rings. Whenever you order onion rings from a restaurant, there's always that chance that what you think you're getting is not what you're actually getting. Something else to consider before ordering onion rings as your side is the sheer amount of calories they contain. A large order of Sonic onion rings contains 800 calories, 39 grams of fat, and 790 milligrams of sodium. Since they include ice cream mix in their batter, they also provide 26 grams of sugar. Sometimes the saddest and most disappointing side you can get at a restaurant is a salad. The least satisfactory ones are nothing but a plate of lettuce with a limp slice of tomato on top. There's also the chance that the salad could come swimming in way too much salad dressing as well. Lackluster side salads are so common that it's usually surprising if you end up getting a good one. One restaurant cook on Reddit said that unless you order a specialized salad or are getting a salad in a high-end restaurant, the cooks really aren't likely to pay much attention to the salad they're preparing and how they're preparing it. The cook also said that you're likely to get unwashed produce in the salad, and if the restaurant pre-makes the side salads, they're likely to have been sitting around for hours. Another Reddit cook claimed that they once worked at an eatery where they made salads days rather than hours ahead. So there's a reason that many side salads make it to your table looking fairly unappetizing. They're just not something most restaurants think much about, but don't take it personally.
Bad salad.
Pasta salads have the potential to be amazing, with so many combinations that sound positively delicious. Unfortunately, far too many restaurant pasta salads end up looking like someone started making a potato salad and decided to substitute macaroni pasta for the potatoes. Some big pasta salad mistakes come from not salting the water while cooking the pasta, overcooking the pasta, or using the wrong type of noodles. Chef Sami Nasrat says that salt makes everything taste better because it is a flavor enhancer. So how much salt do you really need for pasta water? Nasrat suggests that cooks add a whole palmful of salt while boiling water for pasta. Otherwise, the salad it ends up in will taste bland. Overcooking pasta causes the noodles to lose nutrients like vitamins and amino acids. Overcooking also breaks down more sugars to give the pasta a higher glycemic index, which can result in you feeling hungry again sooner after eating. Finally, there's nothing worse than getting a pasta salad with pasta that has the wrong mouthfeel. Foodies told MASH that their favorite type of pasta for pasta salad were corkscrew-shaped rotini pasta, penne, and elbow macaroni. When HuffPost talked to professional chefs about the shapes they like to use, they tended to opt for curvy ones that easily catch other ingredients in their grooves. Baked beans are another hit-or-miss item, as some restaurants just open up a disappointed can of beans and call it done. Of course, not all canned baked beans are created equal, and not all restaurant baked beans are equal either. In fact, we'd bet you've been dissatisfied more times than you've been wowed by getting baked beans as a side dish. Plus, if you do end up getting quality baked beans while you're out, they'll be chock full of calories, fat, and sugar. Baked beans have the potential to be a healthy dish. Since restaurants tend to make baked beans from navy beans, they offer a wide range of nutrients like thiamine, zinc, selenium, and fiber. However, a half-cup serving of baked beans typically contains 20% of your daily sugar limit and 19% of your daily salt limit. And if the restaurant adds a lot of meat to the dish, there's a potential for it to be extremely fatty. Choosing baked beans as your side also has the potential to make you gassy for the rest of the night. Healthline says that beans contain indigestible fiber and carbs that ferment in your intestines, often leading to a rather flatulent evening. So if you're eating out on a date, you'll want to think twice before choosing baked beans as a side, no matter how good they are.
You see? Beans.
Beans are evil.
Deep-fried veggies are deceiving. We can fool ourselves into thinking we're ordering a healthy restaurant side dish, but it's undeniable that okra, sweet potatoes, squash, green tomatoes, and other veggies lose their healthful status when they're battered and fried in hot oil. Healthy fats are important to one's diet, but there's really no chance that your deep-fried vegetables are being fried in healthy oil, even if they deep fry with a good fat like olive oil. The deep frying process also removes many of the vitamins and minerals that make vegetables healthy in the first place. Veggies of all kinds can be healthy choices for side dishes, as long as they're boiled, steamed, or sautéed in olive oil. The difference between frying and sautéing is whether the restaurant is submerging them in oil or lightly cooking them in a pan with just a small amount of oil. Deep frying takes longer, so it also causes the vegetables to absorb more bad fat. Plus, it doesn't make them taste all that much better anyway.